All right, Bismillah. So this is basically an overview of becoming a setter or closer to earn an online income. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because obviously you've seen me on TikTok, right? You've seen the videos that I've been doing. A lot of them, alhamdulillah, they've got like 200,000 views, 50,000 views, etc. So there's a lot of inquiries about how this works, and there's a lot of questions around it, which is very, very good. So that's why I decided to have this free event where I'm just going to go through a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions I've received, and just kind of go through it in a more structured way so people know what they'll be getting themselves into, inshallah. And then from there, have the opportunity to take your questions as well. So again, just a reminder to everyone, I will be taking your questions. It's all going to be at the end of the actual presentation. The presentation should be around hour and a half max, but hopefully like within the hour. And then majority of time will be spent just answering your questions. Basically, that's the whole idea. Um, Make sure you don't unmute your mics or anything like that. I've put it on the function where you can't, but just in case. But yeah, so those are the rules, and I'm just gonna be letting people in as well as they come. Okay, so let's start, inshallah. Bismillah. So the objective, as I mentioned, is to really just give everyone a clear understanding of this opportunity, right, and what it takes to make it in this industry. Um, so just a quick intro about me. You've probably seen this on TikTok. I'm not too sure. But at 18, I didn't really know what to do, whether to go university or study Islam somewhere, because that's really what my passion was. So I randomly went into pharmacy. And then, I got a master's degree, alhamdulillah, and spent 3 to 4 years in pharmacy, right? And then I basically got sick of it, right? I didn't really see that this was something that I saw myself doing in the future. I thought to myself, you know what, I do have a lot of potential. I do want to be doing different things, different projects. I want to be studying the deen, doing some Islam projects, all this kind of stuff. Um, so I don't really want to be in a 9 to 5 job. And a lot of the shifts that I had were like, 11 till 8, or, 9, 10 hours basically, So yeah, I didn't really want to be doing that. And then I searched for some ways to find online income, right? And eventually, after a year or so of just looking and seeing what would be best for me, I came across online sales, becoming a remote closer or setter, right? And I struggled a lot when I first started. So I invested in a program that was £2,000. I was like really scared investing in that because I didn't know if it would work. But yeah, so I struggled a lot, but eventually I actually made some good money from it, alhamdulillah. And that was after 6 months of actually like working really hard for it as well. 4 years later, closed 3 million sales revenue and earned over 6 figures in closing. I still do closing and setting for my own business, so it is a skill that I always use all the time. And I've started two businesses altogether. One is my coaching company, which is what a lot of you have been inquiring about. And one is a consulting company, which is uh, basically I consult other coaching businesses on their sales processes, their marketing, their offer, so that they can scale their business, right? And I place setters and closers into those businesses. So I've actually got experience in firstly being a regular employee, right? Then being a self-employed kind of employee because I was a locum pharmacist, and then actually going into the online world and making an income in the online world as an appointment setter and closer. And I know exactly what the business owners require because I've been there. I've hired, recruited, trained appointment setters and closers as well. So basically I've done it all. So now I am actually qualified to actually be teaching this, inshallah. Right. So the industry overview, right? So this, before I get into every section, I'm just going to quickly check the chat. Can't see the PowerPoint. You should be able to see it. If you're on your phone, then you might, I'm not sure. I mean, ideally desktop would be best, but if you're on your phone, it might be a bit small. But yeah, you should be able to see it. Yeah, you can rewatch this after it ends because it's going to be recorded, inshallah. But if you want to ask questions, then the live questions will be asked at the end, inshallah. So industry overview. Coaching and high ticket sales. So what is high ticket sales? It's basically a fancy way of saying selling products and services of highly perceived price and value. Okay. And the pricing would be around anywhere between $1,000 plus. What is coaching now? Coaching is basically a form of development in which an experienced person called a coach supports a learner or client in achieving a specific goal for them, basically, right? So very, very easy. Now, disruption in the market, in any market, causes a lot of opportunity. All right. And the reason I'm saying that is because the industry of high ticket sales was created by the disruption and impact of digital marketing and the huge rising demand for online learning as well. Right. So even, for example, billion-dollar software companies have aided online marketing and made it easier for people to reach thousands and thousands of people online. And this is all just because of obviously the internet, a lot more things going online. Obviously, COVID had a big play in this as well, where many more things are coming online. And even like universities and large companies are moving their training online, right? And also online learning itself is very popular, right? Why is that? Because people always want to learn new skills. They always want to develop. They go on different sites like YouTube, Udemy, and they want to upgrade themselves in different facets of life, right? Whether it's to make more money, to get healthier, to improve their relationships, to improve their spirituality, etc. This industry is a $350 billion industry and is expected to grow to $480 billion by 2026. So it's on the rise. It's on the rise. This is a big opportunity. And the thing is, every few years, well, every like 5 to 6 years, a really big opportunity comes, right? And obviously, at the moment, we're in the information era, right? Where everyone has so much access to information, and a lot of people are actually riding this wave by, being in the coaching industry or having some sort of online learning platform where they can make a lot of money through this as well, right? So that's why the title disruption equals opportunity, right? And you're either riding the wave or you're falling behind and drowning, basically. So coaching is one of the fastest growing sectors in the world within the past 10 years because it's not a regulated industry. So literally anyone can enter the market, right? You don't have to be a certified coach or anything like that. Anyone can enter the market, okay? And that has its pros and cons as well, which we'll go over. So online learning platforms and coaching, Udemy, Skillshare, YouTube. When you want to learn something, you immediately go to YouTube to check if there's a video tutorial on how to do it, right? And this kind of comes to coaching, which is the next level of learning. And this is why people go to these types of coaching programs. And this is it's a good understanding for you guys as well, because this is essentially what you're going to be selling. This is the industry that you're going to be doing appointment setting and selling inside of. So coaching is basically a more advanced form of learning and developing skills. You're able to get a faster transformation. You're able to get access to an expert who has been there and done that, right? Instead of, for example, going to university and there's a professor teaching business, but he's never started his own business, right? So you get that kind of thing going around. Um, Full support and accountability, structured content. So structured content, a lot of people can learn things for free online, right? They can learn new skills for free online, but they have to maybe search for a whole load of different videos. They have to maybe search for a whole lot of different articles until it properly makes sense to them. So investing in a coaching package, the reason why it's more desirable is because everything's just there. It's laid out. There's already a blueprint for success, right? And you're already working with the expert who knows exactly what they're doing. So they can help you every single step of the way and they can answer all your questions, right? And people are willing to pay thousands for these benefits to get results quicker and learn from those who have the results that they want, right? And it's just like, for example, when going on a mountain hike, right? From like a really big mountain that, you're supposed to get an instructor for, right? And you want an instructor there, otherwise you just can get lost. You probably go to really dangerous parts of the mountain that you should have been going to. You probably go to a place that's really rocky and is really a hard scramble to climb instead of a nice easy path. So that's really just why you want a coach and instructor to help you navigate throughout the whole new industry that you're getting yourself into. Examples of coaching offers. So these ones, let me just click on these links. So for example, here, this is what you call a sales funnel, right? So this is where, it's a page, it gives them information about a consultation or a coaching program. You watch a video, and then if you're interested, you click on this to make a payment, right? So for example, this is a B2B type coaching offer where this guy provides 1 hour consultations on how to build your websites and sales funnels to attract more leads and clients to your business, right? And then, for example, you click on his link here, and then that's the payment information, right? So they pay, and then at the back end of something, they get that call, and then they scale their business from that, right? Here's another one. This is just some random one I found online. So this is called Smashers Academy. It's based in Amazon Academy for people that want to learn Amazon FBA. So here, for example, you see it here, you see a video, you watch the video, you get more informed about it, and then become a member, right? So you click on become a member. Does that work? Yeah, that works. And then you see the payment options here, and then you basically get into the program, right? In a lot of these as well, though, when they're more higher tickets, like £1,000 plus, then normally they say book a call, and that's when they're going to be at the there's going to be a closer at the end of that call, right? Um, Here's another one that's just in the fitness industry. No, I know this brother as well, mashallah. But yeah, so lose up to 28 kg in 12 weeks. That's his coaching offer, right? And he charges 1,000, 2,000 pounds for it, right? So those are just examples of how everything works. So let's continue. So who's actually hiring setters and closers, right? So it's going to be agencies. So predominantly digital marketing agencies, right? This is kind of the most popular types of companies that hire sales reps. And this is B2B, this is business to business. So this is a business giving a service to another business, right? So you're only marketing to businesses, right? You're not marketing to the normal consumers like me and you, right? And then there's influencers, right? So influencers come into three categories: either they're coaches, right, or they're consultants, where, for example, they help businesses scale, or they're course creators, right? And why are they hiring? Because as an appointment setter, as a closer, your service is basically helping these coaches increase the number of book calls and increase the number of sales and closes in their business, which gives them a whole lot more revenue than they could themselves. And they're also hiring because as a business owner, there's just so much work to be done, right? You have to look after the marketing, you have to look after the offer, you have to look after the sales. These are three main parts, right? So if you can outsource some of that, then you'd have a lot more time on your hands, you'd have a lot less stress, and you'd be able to make a lot more money. Why is that? Because if you're outsourcing the sales, you're basically going to be in a position where you're not limited for time on how many sales calls you can take as a business owner. Rather, if you outsource it to someone, you give that person 10 calls a day, and then you get another person on, give them 10 calls a day. That's 20 calls a day. And you could never take 20 calls a day because there's only 24 hours in a day, and each call is like an hour long, right? So that's why people outsource sales as kind of one of the first things that they outsource, just so that they can have an increased likelihood of getting more sales into their business, right? So it's a very, very needed service, right? So where does an appointment setter and closer come in, right? So here you've got like 4 stages of the sales cycle, okay? So the first one is lead generation, right? And this is where basically the business owner either pays for advertising on Facebook or YouTube. Like, for example, when you go on YouTube and just before the video that you want to watch starts, you have this advertisement there, right? And someone saying like, either they're knocking on it, or they're saying hey, come to my program, or whatever it is, basically, right? Hey, are you stuck in the 9 to 5, etc., etc., right? And then people that want to click on that, then they go into their website and they book a call, and then they either close or they don't. So that's lead generation, right? That's just generating leads, generating interest from people, and that can be via paid advertising or via organic marketing. Organic marketing is basically what I do, what you guys have seen on TikTok. It's just posting content on social media, and then you've probably seen as well that I get thousands of comments, alhamdulillah. So that basically means that all of these people are leads, right? All of these people are leads for me, for my business, right? So then I have to literally filter through those leads to see who's qualified and who can do well in this appointment setting and closing program that I have. And then from there, I get them on a call. And then on the call, we discuss it a lot more. We discuss their suitability. I answer all their questions. I tell them the pros and cons about it. And then if they're happy, if I'm happy, then we go forward and we close them onto the program. And then what I do obviously after that, I fulfill the promise that I've made to them, basically, right? So the sales cycle, lead generation, and then the call is booked, and then there's a part which is showing up. So once the call is booked, you want to give the people a prompt or a text just to remind them, like, look, the call is booked, are you going to attend? And that will increase the show rate. And obviously you want to make sure people attend the calls so that you can close them. If they don't attend the calls, they're not going to close. So the orange parts labeled here is where an appointment setter comes into play. So your main work as an appointment setter would literally be to qualify all of the leads that come in, whether it's hundreds of leads, thousands of leads. You're going to qualify all of them. That's via message them on social media, advise them via SMS, or calling them just for a quick 10 to 15 minutes just to see if this is the right thing for them and answer their basic questions. And then if they are, then you book it in, you book them in for a call, and then you make sure they show up to that call. Those are literally your two main tasks as an appointment setter. It's not too difficult, right? There are different modes of appointment setting, like inbound, outbound, but we're not going to get too much into that because it can get a bit complicated. And it's not really for the scope of this particular training. So the next thing is the close, right? So as a closer, when you upgrade from becoming an appointment setter and then you get into becoming a closer, the closer is literally at the end of the phone, and they're doing the last part of the sales process, and that's literally taking the prospect through a series of questions just to ask exactly what the prospect is in need of, why they want this, answer the prospect's questions as well, and then eventually if it's a good fit, they'll close them, they'll take the payment, they'll take the money, and they'll onboard them onto the coaching program or the service that the business has. Okay, so that's everything with regards to the sales cycle. I'm just going to quickly check the chat just to see. Assalamu alaikum salam. Okay, I'm just going to check this. Okay, alhamdulillah. Is everyone okay? Does anyone have any particular questions about this or anything? Has it obviously this part was from the prospectus, so I'm assuming a lot of people have seen this before as well. The next thing is defining basic sales terminology, right? So a sales funnel is basically those websites that we saw. It's basically just a way to capture the attention of leads and take them through the sales process, right? And that's all by like a website, basically. A lead is basically an unqualified contact, right? So for example, when I do my TikTok videos and then people leave comments, each one is a lead, right? But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily qualified, right, to take part in the program, right? So what I have to do is filter out, or what the appointment setter does is qualify them, right? A prospect, now this is someone who's qualified, right? So you've kind of had a little bit of conversation with them, or you kind of see from how they've commented that, okay, this person would be qualified to work with me, right? As an appointment setter, you're going to be having discovery, triage, or quick consult calls. These are basically the calls you use to qualify the prospect, right? They just have various different names. They all mean the same though. And then as a closer, you have an enrollment or strategy session, right? So that closing call is called an enrollment or strategy session, right? The reason it's called strategy session is because a lot of the times you want to kind of give a real understanding of what the whole product and service is about, and you can give them kind of a roadmap of what to expect as well. That's why you do talk a bit about strategy in that as well. Close is obviously when you close the deal, you make the sale, you take the payment. Sales cycle is basically, as we mentioned before, lead generation to booked calls, to showing up to the calls, to closing the call. CRM is basically a client relationship management software. And this is a software where all of the leads are you have all of the data of the leads. You can contact them through that particular software via texting them or emailing them, etc. So everything's just in one place. So it's not messy. You don't have like thousands of spreadsheets open with different leads and everything. It's just all in one nice software. Inbound versus outbound. So inbound is basically when a client asks you about your service, right? So for example, when I'm on TikTok, people are saying I'm interested, or they're asking me questions. That's an inbound lead, right? Outbound is when I reach out, I do the action, and I reach out to people and I say, this product will be good for you, right? And then they come back to me and ask their questions, right? So there's a big difference there. And usually with setting and closing, it's all going to be inbound. So it's a lot easier because people are already inquiring about the service and they're taking the action to ask you. So that automatically means that you're in the driving seat, you're in more of a control. Because if it's all outbound and you're trying to ask them, it can get a bit difficult. You know, you're going to be kind of like the desperate one trying to ask them for business and things like that. They're in control because they can decide yes or no, right? So inbound versus outbound. So the stuff that we teach here is all inbound. We do teach some outbound as well. Warm versus cold. So a warm lead is basically someone who has looked at a lot of material that the business has. They understand, you know, what the business is about, what the program is about, and they are basically familiar with the brand, right? A cold lead is someone who just doesn't really know much about the brand at all. They don't really know anything about the brand, right? And a hot lead is basically someone who's really interested, they want to get started, and they book a call, and then you can literally close them in 15, 20 minutes, basically. Okay, payment structures. So closers 10 to 20% commission per close. This is how much you'd get paid as a closer generally. Industry standard though is 10%. Okay. Obviously, once you work your way up or once you get a bit more experience, then within the company, you can negotiate for a higher commission. Or what a lot of companies do is that they say, look, if you get more than X number of closes in the month, then we'll top it up so that you can get 12.5% on each close instead of just 10%, right? So it's more performance based, right? With setters, however, it's normally like 3 to 5% commission per closed set, right? So any set that you make and the closer closes it, you get 3 to 5% commission on that particular package. So let's say, for example, the package is a $5,000 package, and let's say, for example, you're selling a coaching program to a business to teach them marketing to scale their business, right? So if you set that call and then if the closer closes it, you get around, let's just work with 5%. So 5% of 5K, which is $250, right? So that's how much you'd get per closed set. And obviously you can see how the money stacks up depending on how many sets you have, how quality your sets are. And this is why it's important to qualify the people that you're talking to as well, making sure they're a good quality prospect so that the closer can close them and you can get your commission as well. And then also you get a base salary as well of anywhere between $500 to $1,500 a month. This is for some companies. For other companies, it's literally just commission only. As a setter, you just get 5-10% commission and you don't get a base salary. There are some other companies out there that pay per set, like $30 to $40 or pounds per set, but that's a bit rarer in the coaching industry. Okay, and the opportunity itself, so the financial breakdown, let me just check my phone. Okay, the financial breakdown is as such, right? So this is like if everything works out well and you're doing well and you're dedicated to this as well. So you get to work remotely. This is like the most appealing thing that there is, right? And you can be flexible with your hours as well, right? It's more so flexibility with a closer because you can literally dictate your calendar and say, okay, I'm only going to be taking calls 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then maybe 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., right? So you can do that as a closer. You can be very flexible as a closer. As a setter, it's a bit less flexible because there will be companies that say, look, if you're getting a base salary, then I need you to work 9 to 5 regardless. So they won't give you flexibility. But if it's commission only, then it's more flexible because then you can kind of do your own schedule. But there will be some sort of expectation where, okay, you would be working in business hours, right? So that's how it is for a setter. You literally spend your days genuinely helping people. And this is one of the best part about sales, right? Because you're on the call, you're helping them make the best decision for them. Okay. Just admit these people in. You can make life-changing money. This is exactly what I did. You know, I made a lot of money and I had a lot in savings in just like a year or two after being in the sales industry. And that really just changed my whole mindset and perspective with regards to making money online. Why is that? Because I was struggling to actually find a way to make money online beforehand, right? I was looking at Amazon, I was looking at digital marketing, I was looking at becoming a YouTube influencer. I was looking at blogging. I was looking at all these different things. But the only thing that made sense to me that would make me money quite quickly as well would be sales. And that's my personal journey. Some people may think that, you know, making money in something else would be better, but this is just my personal journey. This is why you're all here, because you relate to my personal journey as well. So the setter, they make 1K to 5K a month. That's normally kind of the on-track earnings. The average I'd say is between 2 to 3K though. And let's say, for example, so this is basically the potential, right? So let's say you set 10 calls a week for a $3,000 package. And let's say the closer closes 3 of those calls, right? So that's 9,000, 5%, 9,000 is 450 a week. So that's what you get a week. So in a month, you'll be getting 2,200. And if you're getting paid a salary on top of that, then that's quite sweet, right? And obviously it works if you have a higher package, like if this package changed to a 5,000, 7,500, $10,000 package, then obviously you're going to get much more money. When you get more experience and you understand exactly what you need to do to qualify prospects and get more leads in to book more sets, then you'll be getting more money as well because you'll be producing more sets. A closer, however, they earn a bit more, so 3K to 10K plus per month, right? And the 10K plus, it can be 10K, 15, 20, 30, 40, right? It depends like how good of a closer you are as well, and how much lead volume you're getting, what the close rate is, is what the show up rate is for those calls, how many people show up to the calls, for example, how well nurtured that the lead is before the closing call. Because if they don't know anything about the business and then they're coming on the closing call, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to start closing them on that call. So let's say, for example, as a closer, there's 5 calls a day. You close one a day on average at $3,000 package at 10% commission. So that's $1,500 a week, and that's like 6,000 a month. So again, these are just like numbers, right? Obviously, reality is a bit more, it depends on a whole lot of variable factors, but I'm just kind of giving you the standards that are out there. And obviously, a higher close rate and more calls equals more money. Okay. So the drawbacks of being in this industry. So this is a slide that I put a bit more focus in as well, because I don't just want to be telling you, okay, yeah, you can make X amount of this, just come in and learn from me, basically. Right. I want you to know everything about this. Okay. I'm being very open and transparent about this as well. So it is hard and uncomfortable, right? You will want to give up. So, and to be honest, this is quite generic. This is with every type of online opportunity out there, right? They're always going to be hard. They're always going to be uncomfortable. They're always going to be a bit difficult to get your head around. In the first few months, you're probably not going to earn as much. And then after that, it's just going to scale up and shoot up, right? But you have to have patience, and you have to be willing and committed and motivated and determined to make it work, right? And that's how it is with any online income. And that's literally how it is if you want to get out of the 9 to 5 and do the entrepreneurship, right? Everyone nowadays, for some reason, they want to do entrepreneurship, right? They don't want to be in their 9 to 5s. The 9 to 5 is very good, right? A lot of times there's no problem with the 9 to 5, right? But it's just that there are some expectations that have been set by social media and the society out there, which say that, quit your 9 to 5, make 10K a month doing some online income. It's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy. Some people are literally just fit for a 9 to 5, and that's completely fine. Like, there's no problem or shame in that, right? And there are other people who are more cut out to be an entrepreneur, right? Because they like playing with risk. They don't mind earning like next to nothing one month and then the next month earn like 5-10K, right? So it just really depends on your personality type as well. It can be very frustrating at times. You're going to face a lot of rejection in this industry. You're going to try and apply for jobs, or you're going to network with people. They're going to ghost you. They're not going to reply to you. They're going to say, you know what, I don't think you're good enough. I've chosen another person. You're going to get a lot of rejection in the job industry. And also when actually doing a sale as well, or close, right? So for example, you might be trying to make some money in a week, right? And you're on a closing call and someone says, yeah, this is really good, I want to buy it, right? And then you say, okay, when are you going to buy it? And then say, okay, tomorrow I'll message you. And then you don't get a response, right? And then they've literally ghosted you, and your excitement turns into like a big disappointment, right? So that's the type of rejection that you receive. And also, if you're an appointment setter and you're calling people at an unscheduled time, then people can respond in a poor manner as well. But that's quite rare, because normally you'd call them at a good time. But they could kind of put your day down by just like mentioning bad things to you. Unregulated industry. So what I mean by this is that because anyone can become a coach, anyone can call themselves an expert, right? This does lead to some programs out there being very scammy, right? And people just preying on others by having good marketing, where they say, hey, look, are you in a 9 to 5? Are you sick of your job? Do you want to earn online? This is really easy. This is the way to do it. It's just so easy. Just two steps to do, all that kind of stuff they mention, without any cons involved, or without any drawbacks of the industry. So a lot of people prey on that, and they prey on the naivety and the desperation of people who need to make money as well, right? And it's unfortunate, because in the coaching industry, there are a lot of good coaches out there, right? But they're all tainted by just these few kind of scammers that are out there, right? So there are some out there, so you just have to be careful of them, and you need to know how to navigate the industry. High turnover rate in jobs, right? So as a sales person in general, like, you're not going to really stay in a company for more than a year or two, right? And the reason is because either your performance will kind of go up and down, and it depends on the business owner whether they're going to keep you or not, depending on your performance. And then the other part is with the business owner themselves, right? So the business, it may experience a really good number of lead flow, for the first few months, but then after that, the lead flow will really go down, and that's going to affect your income. So you'd have to go and find another job, basically. So this is why there's a high turnover rate in sales jobs in general. So what I mean by the high turnover rates as well is that expect to be looking for many different jobs at one time, and expect to be in jobs for like a couple of months and then having to look for another one as well. It's not like the normal traditional employment that you guys are in at the moment at the 9 to 5, where you're there, it's pretty stable. You're there for 5-6 years at a time, basically, and then they have contracts and they have HR if anything goes wrong. This is a performance related job. I think I mentioned that here. Yeah. So this is a performance-based role. So what that means is if you perform, you're staying on. If you don't perform, you're going off and you have to find another job. And this is why within this industry, one of the most important skills is number one, how to navigate the industry, and number two, how to build your own pipeline of these jobs so that whenever something may not be going well with the current offer that you're in, you can quickly and easily find another source of income or another job, basically. All right. I just want to double check if people are coming in. No, okay, that's perfect. You will get income fluctuations as well, and this obviously depends on what kind of job you're getting. But the students that I take on, we want to put them into jobs where there won't be as many, or the fluctuations won't be as disastrous. So, for example, when I first started in this, obviously I didn't really know much when I first started in this. I left my job and then I was earning 1K a month, and then sometimes 3 to 5K a month, and then 1K a month again. So it's kind of like a graph like that. It just goes up and down, right? So you got to be prepared for that. Some offers that you get in terms of job offers will promise the world, but they'll be a waste of time. But then again, like with my students, this wouldn't really happen because I tell you exactly what to look out for, right? Mindset. Now, mindset is absolutely crucial for you to be successful in anything in life. All right. So this whole slide, this whole section will literally relate to your entire life, right? So don't just put it for this particular opportunity, but it's literally for anything in life, right? Okay, so right. So are you happy with where you are in life right now? Right. So that's a question that I want you guys to reflect on. And there's a difference between happy and content. Of course, we're all content as Muslims with what Allah has provided us with, of course. But are you happy with where you are in life right now? Right. What that means is, like, do you think that you could be doing more? Do you think that that one hobby that you really wanted to do, you could be spending more time on it? Or that family that you have, you can be spending more time with them? Or you can increase the finances that you have, or you can have a better relationship with your spouse, or a better relationship with your friends, right? All of these types of things is what I'm talking about here, right? And there's a quote as well, like, you are where you are because of your current beliefs and actions, right? If you want to achieve things in life, you need to change your current beliefs and actions. Doing the same thing won't actually move you forward in life. And that's really important to understand as we go forward as well. So what I want to do, instead of kind of telling you, like, oh, here are the ways to here are the ways to become successful, right? What I want to say is, okay, here's what to avoid, right? And that kind of helps you understand it a bit more. And then whenever you're doing those things, because most likely the reason why you're not in the situation that you want to be in life is because you're not doing the right things, right? So a lot of things I'm going to mention here, they will deeply resonate with you, and you're going to think, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. So you need to get rid of them, right? It's going to take obviously a process, it's going to take some time, but you need to get rid of these things, right? So I'm just going to mention them out. And then in the chat, you guys can just mention, yep, that's me, or yeah, I've experienced that. All right. So let's continue. So if you want to fail in life, start tomorrow. Just keep starting tomorrow. Start tomorrow, start tomorrow, start tomorrow. That's all you got to do. That's like one of the best recipes to fail in life. Just don't get anything done now. Just start tomorrow, right? And I know, like, a lot of us are procrastinators as well, and analysis paralysis people. So that's why I'm laughing, because I used to always do this. I used to always say, I can't be asked. Let's just put the PlayStation on and let's do it tomorrow. Right? Make excuses, right? A lot of people blame their circumstances and they make excuses. If you want to fail, you just keep making excuses, keep blaming your circumstances, never improve yourself, and never improve never improve yourself, basically, and just keep making excuses and don't do any action towards getting better, right? consume lots of content and do nothing, right? So a lot of people, again, because obviously we're in the information era, there's so much information out there. If we just implemented the information that we had, I'm sure we'd get really far in life, right? And this can go with anything. This could go with Islamic knowledge. This could go with stuff in your careers. This could go with finances. This could go with health, right? So for example, if someone's uh, um, like smoking, right? Obviously, they know it's not good for them, right? But they're just consuming content about health and all that stuff, but they're smoking. Like, you just need to change it, right? You need to actually do the action. Okay. Another one is take advice from poor people or those who haven't started businesses or those who haven't had or attained high income skills, right? So basically taking advice from the wrong people, okay, when it comes to businesses and online income. So if, for example, you're talking to people about a particular opportunity, it would be good to talk to people to get their perspective, but the best types of people to talk with are people who have already been in that online opportunity or people that have experienced a similar type of online opportunity, right? Because if you talk to the people that haven't experienced an online opportunity at all, they're just going to laugh at you, right? Because I remember this very, very clearly. When I first got into sales, I invested in a £2,000 program, right? And this taught me everything about how to get into the sales industry, right? And this particular program, I invested in it, and straight away, and this was a mistake, straight away I told my family, right? And then my parents were like, "What? What are you doing?" Like, they were a bit angry, right? And look, they obviously love us, they care for us. It's a natural reaction, right? They don't want you to lose out, so that's why they're saying it, right? So there's no ill feeling or anything, but that's what they said, right? And then one of my other family members, he just started laughing. Oh, you got scammed, right? So that's the type of responses I received straight away, and that's the type of kind of advice or comments that I got from people that aren't really in that industry, so they don't really know about it, right? Um, and that's like a general rule in life as well, is that if people kind of do things that would be negative in your kind of eyes, then you just need to understand that their level of understanding of that thing is not quite there yet, right? So that's why they've done it. And this is how you have like forbearance, like Islamically as well, which is a very good trait. But I digress. So yeah, don't take advice from people. And to be honest, when people like that, like especially your family members, and they say like those types of things, like no, no, don't do this, just focus on your career, etc., then it just creates a lot of doubt in your own mind because you're thinking, oh, this is what my beloved family said to me. Am I in the right opportunity? Did I get scammed? This, that, you just start thinking a whole lot of different things. And then you don't actually do the work that you need to get there. You don't implement the program because you're still thinking about, is it the right thing or not? Right. So, yeah, that's a good one. Does anyone resonate with these, or am I just saying some abstract stuff? You guys can write in the comments, inshallah. Failed once. This is a good one. Failed once, quit forever. Right. If you want to fail in life, then whatever you try, if you just fail at it a little bit or fail at it once, then you just quit it forever, right? That's how you fail in life, right? So we've got a comment here. Yes, relatable, definitely resonate. Yeah, yeah. All of these are related to me all the time. Yeah, all of these are related to me as well. That's why I put it on there. There's no shame in having these. Now we know them, we got to turn it around, basically. I can relate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you for the comments. Think that the world is fair, right? Don't think that the world is fair. The world is harsh, right? You like the people that are up there is like, it's not fair. Sometimes, for example, you're in a job, and you guys can probably relate to this. You're in a job, you're like one of the best at what you do, but then there's this random person that's just come in, and because they're friends with the managers and that, they get promoted when you're the one who should be getting promoted, but they're getting promoted, right? So the world is not fair, okay? um, Blame your circumstances and complain, right? If you want to fail, just keep blaming, keep complaining, keep being an armchair critic. Oh, the only reason he's successful is because of this. The only reason he's made money is because of this. No, keep doing that, and then you just stay poor all your life, basically, right? Or you just fail in life in general, right? Be a wisher to have a life of ease and comfort, right? So another way to fail is to just be a wisher, right? Just wish, oh, you know what? I wish that life was easier, right? Or for example, sometimes like when people see things on social media or they see influencers or even like they see a movie or something, and like, you know what? I wish I had that life. I wish I had that life. Yeah, okay, you can wish it, but you're not going to get it, right? So just buckle down and do some work and then get to where you want to, right? That's how it is. That's life. So expect people to save you. Okay. Don't expect people to save you. Okay. Like the only people you should like lean on obviously is your family, right? And obviously more importantly, Allah. But in general, with regards to the world itself, then don't expect anyone to save you. You have to save yourself, right? You have to do the work yourself. You have to figure things out yourself. Okay. Avoid discomfort, right? If you want to fail, just avoid any discomfort. Anything's a bit hard, anything's a bit scary, anything, oh, I'm not too sure, just avoid it. You'll fail in life, guaranteed. Tolerate mediocrity, right? So one of the ways to fail in life is just to continue being mediocre. What I mean by being mediocre is that you know deep down you can be a lot better than what you are. You have a lot more potential, right? But you just want to tolerate mediocrity. You just want to have a chill life. You're just kind of one of those people that say, you know what, I'm just gonna pray 5 times a day and just get paradise, right? Like you know, you're not gonna strive towards anything better, right? And you're not gonna strive to do more good deeds. And even Islamically, being mediocre is looked down upon, right? It's not the right thinking to have. You should be striving your best for everything. Wait for perfect conditions, right? This is a good one because a lot of people, you know, especially when I'm closing on the phone, right? I've closed $3 million in sales altogether. I've closed so many different coaching programs. One of the main things I hear, oh, you know what? It's not the right time yet. I would do this if it was a few months ago, I would have done it. But no, it's not the right time. I get this all the time. That's a perfect way to fail at life. That's the absolute perfect way to fail at life. Avoid working on what matters most, right? So like for example, you've got a big task in front of you and you know that there's one thing that you need to keep doing to get to the goal that you have, but you don't do it, you do everything around it, right? Like for example, losing weight, right? You don't eat the right foods, right? But you just do everything around it. You know, maybe you I don't know, you have some supplements or something like that, but you're still eating bad food basically, right? Or you're doing like you know, a few weights here and there, but you're still eating bad food. Like do the main thing, do the main thing, right? Talk more, do less. This is another way to fail. Just keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep thinking, and then just don't do anything. Yeah. Another way to fail is start something new every day, right? So don't commit to something, right, for a long time. Just start something new every day, right? One day I'm gonna do Amazon. One day, you know what? This program seems good. Let me try that. Oh, this guy said you can make 10K a month doing this. Okay, yeah, let me try that. It's just not gonna work. That's how you fail. That's how you fail. Be inconsistent, right? Another way to fail is be inconsistent, right? Don't put in like because even Islamically, you know, Allah says one of the most beloved of deeds is that which is done consistently, right? Consistency has a lot of merits, right? Because you're able to commit to something, you're able to do it, you're able to perfect it, you're able to master it. And in business, when you master something, then you get paid more for it, right? Think short term always. This is a good one as well. A lot of people think short term. A lot of people think, oh, you know what? If I invest in this program or if I start this online income, I need to make 10K a month right away in the first like 2, 3 months. Otherwise, it's a scam. It's this or that, right? Now, you need to think long term, right? Everything that you're doing in life, like life is quite long. Life is quite long, right? There's a statement where I think people underestimate what they can do. Um, People overestimate what they can do in 1 year and they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And that's very true because people don't really plan for that long, right? People just look at, for example, you know what? This opportunity, can I make money from it right away? Nah, forget it. Forget it then. I'll just stick to my job. But then 2, 3 years down the line, they're still in the same place. But if they took that step, 2, 3 years down the line, they'll be in a better place, right? So always think long term with opportunities as well. Focus on the outcome. So another way to fail is focus on the outcome, not the inputs and processes to get to the outcome. This is really important. This is something I've recently discovered as well. Let me just let these brothers and sisters in, inshallah. Because when you just focus on the outcome, although it's good obviously to have an end goal, that's fine. I'm not saying that. But when you're just focusing on the outcome, then you're not gonna like if you don't get it, then you're gonna be really demotivated and you're gonna give up eventually, right? So let's say, for example, again, the example of losing weight, right? So if you focus on the outcome of, oh, you know what, I need to lose 1 kg today, this week, and I need to lose 1 kg this week, right? And then you're not doing the inputs to get there, but you're just thinking, you know what, I need to do it, I need to do it, I need to do it. And that's all you're thinking. And then at the end of the week, you get angry because you didn't reach it. That's like, that's your fault because you didn't put the inputs and processes in. What you need to do is just focus on the inputs, the habits, the processes, and then the outcome will automatically come. All right. And that's how you win in life. So another way to fail in life, though, is keep looking at and valuing other people's lives over improving your own. So this is kind of in tandem with being a wisher to have a life of ease and comfort. You know, when you keep thinking about other people's lives and how their lives seem so good on social media or in movies or series or whatever it is that you watch or whatever, you know, and you're just thinking, you know what, I wish I had that. Life would be so much easier, right? But you know, you got your own life, you got to work at it. Because you want to make your life something that, wow, you know, this is a really good life that I have, right? Keep wishing that you were someone else, right? This is another way to fail. Keep wishing that you were someone else. Another way to fail is don't go out of your comfort zone. Anything that scares you a bit, or anything that, oh, you know, it's a bit risky, or it's a bit scary, or um I, I don't know how to do it, I haven't done it before, just don't do it. And then that's a way to fail in life. Another way to fail is don't be accountable or responsible, right? Just blame others basically, and just make excuses. Another thing is wait to be told things and don't figure out anything for yourself, right? So again, just taking initiative really, right? And I think we all know this. Let's just see the chat, because I did tell people to comment. I can relate. Yep, I'm loving this meeting. I can relate. Yeah, yeah. Knowledge is wisdom. So amazing. I resonate a lot with this. Thanks for sharing important life tips. Loving this. Yep, yep. What's your TikTok? I'll answer the questions after. Yeah, it's at Shoaib SSS. But yeah, so these are ways to fail. If you want to fail in life, guys, just implement this, and I guarantee you'll fail. Anyway, the next slide. How are we with time? Okay, that was quite long. Tackling limiting beliefs. This is really important as well. So limiting beliefs are those that have a negative impact on our life and we accept it as the truth. Okay. So for example, fear of failure, right? Or you have the fear that you aren't good enough or deserving enough to achieve what it is that you want. Or fear of not being accepted by social circles, or fear of being rejected, or thinking things have to be perfect to start taking action, or thinking other people's actions are holding you back, or it's not good to make money Islamic. You know, all of these are limiting beliefs, right? And what you need to do is replace these limiting beliefs, right? So just a bit of background here. Self-doubt, negative self-talk, they all cripple your ability to achieve anything meaningful. So have you ever had a time where, for example, you wanted to do something, or you wanted to get towards a goal, but then like immediately you told yourself, nah, I'd never get that. I'd never be able to get that. Or you'd say, no, I don't think I'm clever enough to do that. Right. So you're basically just putting yourself down. That's negative self-talk, right? And a lot of people do it subconsciously because you've been doing it all of your life since childhood, right? And it's been there since childhood, maybe because of some external influences that have made you think like that. And this is why, even for example, when raising children and whatnot, you need to be very careful with what you say, right? Because if you say you're a you're a naughty person, you're a silly person, they're gonna think, oh my God, I'm actually this person, right? Because they basically take whatever you say as gold, right? So you just need to be very careful with this, because later on it manifests to something very big, or a big stumbling block in their way, a big obstacle in their way. But that's a side point anyway, where we can go into a bit more later. Our subconscious has been fed with all these limiting beliefs, as I mentioned. We must replace these thoughts to win. Otherwise, every time we try to achieve something, we will self-sabotage, right? And this is what happens a lot of times, right? A lot of us, we just try to change the actions of what we're doing to get to a goal, rather than changing the thoughts that lead to the actions, right? So the thoughts themselves are very, very important. Okay. So for example, someone can eat healthily, do that right action for a few days, but then they'll ruin it by eating junk food the next day, right? It's because they've just changed a bit of the action. They haven't changed the whole thought process behind it, though, right? Or for example, a lot of people would make a lot of money and then they'll spend that, and then they'll be back to square one, basically, right? And it's kind of like your brain is like a thermostat, right? So the thermostat is set at a specific temperature, right? Or which basically means that your brain is basically putting yourself and your life at a specific zone, and that's your comfort zone, right? Now, anything you want to achieve that you haven't yet got is outside of your comfort zone. So just imagine you're a person, right? You're a person, and then you everything within the circle of your person is things that you've achieved, like, you know, job, or you got married, or you have kids, or anything else, right? But then anything that you don't have, it's outside of that circle, right? And that's like outside of your comfort zone, basically, right? And the reason you haven't got those things is because of a lot of different factors, right? And normally it's because of these limiting beliefs as well. So you just got to be very aware of this. And then whenever you're trying to get to something, just think to yourself, okay, like, but do I actually believe that about myself, right? And I'll tell you about ways how to get over it as well. Oh yeah, but I was talking about the thermostat thing. So it's like a thermostat where you're just in your comfort zone, right? And that's like mediocrity, right? Because you know you can be a lot better, you have a lot more potential. Okay. But you need to break your mediocrity to get anywhere in life. And even Islamically, it's not good to be mediocre. Okay. So what you need to do is keep changing your thoughts, changing your actions. That thermostat can just keep increasing, right? Until it's at a stage where you're not scared to do anything, right? And you achieve everything that you want to, and life is made as easy for you. And you look at your life and you're very happy with where you are at your life as well, right? Because a lot of people aren't, because they don't know this stuff. This stuff's really important as well. And we delve into a lot more in the program too. Unshackle yourselves from limiting beliefs by replacing them with better thoughts that serve you. For example, what would I have to believe to get the results that I want? Right. So instead of saying, oh, you know what, I don't think I'll be able to get that. I don't really deserve that. Or, you know what, I don't actually want to start a new type of online income stream because I don't want too much money because that can corrupt me, right? Now, the default with money is that yes, it can corrupt, right? But you know, starting an online income stream, like, it doesn't mean you're going to make millions, right? You just need an extra few thousand. That's it. That's not really going to corrupt you at all, right? What would I have to believe to get the results? What's a more empowering belief to adopt, right? What would a more successful version of me think? So these are the types of questions that you want to be asking yourself whenever you track yourself thinking these negative talk, the negative self-talk or self-doubt or limiting beliefs. Okay. Let's just see if we're waiting for anyone to join. No, okay, that's fine. Yes, that's me. Okay, so career transition. How are we all, first of all? Is everyone okay? Anyone getting bored? Anyone thinking, come on, when are you going to stop talking? Or is it all right? Can I just get a number one in the comments if it's okay? And you're all liking it. One, all good. Okay. Learning so much. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is your mindset. Like, a lot of people say as well that to get anything, 80% is mindset, 20% is the strategy, right? Because if you think about it as well, like, I can give people a strategy right away. Like, you can have two people side by side. One of them is given the strategy. Well, actually, they're both given the strategy, right? But one of them has the best mindset and they work on themselves and they get rid of their limiting beliefs. They fly with it, right? But the other one, they've got the strategy, but they don't do anything with it, right? Or they do something and they fail straight away, and then it's finished, basically, right? So yeah, that's a really important part about this as well. Just let some more brothers and sisters in, inshallah. Okay, so career transition. It's good, by the way, that everyone's engaging in that. I do appreciate it. It's a bit difficult just speaking to some like camera without seeing everyone. How to transition into this career, right? So avoid quitting your job right away. Okay, this is a big mistake, and even like there's advice from even Muslims like give this advice, but usually a lot of people that do online marketing, they give this advice, right? Quit your job, earn 10K a month, right? That's like the pull that they have on you, right? But what you want to do is you want to avoid quitting right away. Okay, you don't want to just quit right away and then have nothing to live on, right? But what you want to do is that there's 3 transition milestones to replace your career. The first one is you need to calculate your necessary expenses per month. So this is like the survival stuff. So bills, rent, if you're doing rent, if you're with your parents, then like the rent that you give to them, or if you don't, that's fine. Food, transportation, kids, etc. So you must always reach this no matter what. Don't ever go below this, okay? Or don't put yourself in a position where you'd go below this. What is your monthly wage after tax, like your take home pay? It might not just be tax, it might be student loans as well that they take off straight away, or pensions or whatever. But this is your replacement income. Your take home pay is your replacement income, right? So if you're earning 2,000 a month after tax and after the expenses that just go away before you even see the money, then this is your replacement income. 2,000 is your replacement income. And then you have your dream income, right? So your dream. And again, this is your dream, right? It's not someone else's dream. It's not what someone else said you need to earn, right? It's not, for example, even here I say you can earn 1K to 5K. It doesn't mean, okay, your dream is 5K. It doesn't mean that. A lot of online marketers, they put it out there that people need to earn 10K a month, or they need to make 6 figures a year, or they need to make 1 million a year. Like this stuff, you don't need this stuff. Like it's not there. Like it's the wrong type of advice. They say it so that their product is more sellable to you. It's more desirable, right? So don't aim for like the generic 10K a month that everyone's saying. Because most people don't even need this. Most people, like, they'll be satisfied just an extra 2K a month. That will really improve their life, right? And that 2K a month will really help them for the next like 5 years. And then maybe 5 years later, they'll have another goal in life, which is, you know what, let's earn another 2K a month, right? So altogether, it will be 4K extra that have earned within a space of 10 years. And that would still have a very like significant impact on their lives, right? So yeah, just like you need to have a number that's really important to you. Okay. And this is why when you um kind of talk about your expenses, well, when you write down your expenses in a spreadsheet, and then when you write down what it is that you actually want in life, and how much those things would be, then you come up with your dream income, right? So for example, like, do you want to be renting a house somewhere, or do you want to eventually buy a house? How much do you need to save up? So you'll get a good idea of how that can be into monthly income, and then that would be your dream income, and that's where you want to aim to. So now that you've written it all down and it's related to what actually you want, now you're more like your mind's more deeply rooted into that goal. Because if it's just some random goal, someone says, "Oh, by the way, you need to make 10K in this, right? Otherwise, you're a flop." Then it's like, it's a bit your brain's not deeply attached to that number, so you're not going to get it, right? When it's deeply attached to something, then you're going to get something, right? And that's like the general rule with goal setting. You need to have a goal that you're deeply connected with, okay? And yeah, you're probably realizing now that a lot of this is all life advice, right? But the thing is, with entrepreneurship, with online income, a lot of it is life advice, because you have to change yourself to get these types of results, right? So there is always an interesting connection with this as well. So landing your first job, I get a lot of questions about this. Let's go over this a bit. So in general, there's a problem with job applications. Yeah. Everyone is an applicant, everyone is the same, but no one's respected as a job applicant. You're just seen as a number, right? Okay, like for example, if you go on Indeed and you send your CV, thousands of people are doing the same thing. It's so easy to do that, right? This is why there's thousands of job applicants for only one job, right? And most of the times, no one gets the job because the person who gets the job is a referral, right? Or someone or who knows another contact, basically, right? So the job applications game is broken. And this stuff you can even apply to your current 9 to 5 as well, by the way. So you need to think of yourself as a business owner, right? You have a service that you provide for companies. For example, if you're going to become a setter or closer, then you have this service of setting and closing, where you can increase the business's sales and increase the number of book calls and etc. And you now need to market this, sell it, and fulfill it for your clients. So basically, you need to rethink the way that you're getting hired and getting jobs, right? It's not going to be that you're just going to apply to everywhere, because a lot of these jobs, they put the job role out there because they can't find anyone, right? And it's kind of out of desperation as well, because they need someone quickly. So a lot of the times it's not really the right type of job that's being advertised in the first place, right? But you need to think as a business owner, you need to think of someone, you know what, I have these skills. I'm actually a partner with the business that I'm going to be working in, even though you get hired by them, but you're actually going to be a partner. Why is that? Because you have your role of setting and closing, right? And they have their role of bringing you the leads that you can set and close, right? So it's a give and take, yeah. And that's how it should be when you're in this industry. Um, when you treat it as a business, you do get better offers than job applicants would as well. And the problem with the average job applicant is that all they're focused on is themselves. I need a job. I want to make this much a month, right? And that's what all of the job applicants are focused on, just themselves. But as a business owner, you have to look at the market. For you to have a successful business, you need to understand the market and you understand their needs and desires and develop an offer from there. Focus on what they want, focus on the business owner's problems and solve those problems, right? Because money is the exchange of value. That's all it is, right? The reason why people give you money is because you're giving them a lot of value, right? They give you more and more money because you're solving higher problems that not many people can solve, right? So value to these types of businesses, like the coaching businesses that are hiring for setters and closers, is that they want a closer who's reliable or a setter who's reliable, who will show up, right? Who doesn't just come on and then just leave. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of setters and closers that just come on to an opportunity and then they just ghost, right? Or they don't do the work properly, right? Uh, or they're not in contact with all the leads, or they're very disorganized, right? They want a person who has a desire and a passion to be setting and closing as well, right? Because when you have a desire and passion for something, then you're going to do it no matter what. No matter what your emotions are, you're still going to do it because you like it. Okay. Integrity when selling, right? They don't want you to, force or pressurize or unethically sell their prospects into something. They don't want that, right? Because that's going to look bad on them and their brand, right? Time to take sales calls. You need to be someone who has that time that the business owner doesn't have so that you can take those sales calls, right? Fixing sales processes, right? Uh, and there's many more different things as well. But I'm just giving you a flavor of how this is, right? So there's three main kind of areas when it comes to applying for jobs. There's networking, right? Which is the best way to do it because when you're networking for a job, and this is like for your 9 to 5 as well, you can implement this in. When you're networking, you find companies that no one else is applying to, right? They haven't put out a job application yet. And then when you're networking with them, you're building a relationship with them through social media, you're talking with them, you're commenting on their posts, you're liking their posts, you're sharing their posts, you're getting in a conversation with them online, and then eventually you go into their DMs, right? And then you're speaking to them about the stuff there, and then eventually you say, you know what, I'd really love to work with you as well, right? All of that, you've built all of that relationship, right? So now you're the first thing on their mind, right? And then when you're the first thing on their mind, before they put out a post saying, you know what, I need setters and closers, they're going to think, oh, you know what, I've been speaking to setter and closer for ages. He seems interested. Let's get him for an interview. Yeah. So networking is very, very, very important, right? Networking does take time. So it's not a quick way to get a job, but it does take time. It does take a few months because things with building relationships, it always takes time, right? And there'll be some weeks that the business owner doesn't respond because they're very busy with things, and you just have to balance it. So you want to be speaking with many, many, many different people at once, and you want to be building those relationships and networks so that eventually you can have a really big pipeline of all of these networks, and then eventually some of them will equate into job offers, right? And that's really how it works. Um, the second part is applying. So you still can apply for jobs, right? Obviously, if you're on my program, I'll tell you what types of jobs not to apply for, what types of jobs to apply for as well. But applying is still a way that you get in. I still get in by applying as well. I get in by networking, by applying, by positioning myself as a business owner, for example, as well. And then another part is warm referrals, right? So this is when, for example, let's say, for example, one of the aims in my program is that I create networks with different coaches and business owners that need setters and closers, and then I just refer you guys into them, right? So that's the whole aim of my kind of program. That's what I want to be doing, right? But warm referrals are very good because if you build a network of closers and setters that you know as well, and they have a job opening and their business owner says, you know what, I need another setter or closer, they're going to think of you because you've already built a network with them, right? and a good relationship with them as well. So these are 3 good ways to land these types of jobs. And again, it takes time. It takes time. It's not an immediate type of thing. And if you're looking for immediate solutions, immediate get rich quick thing, it's not going to happen. It's going to take time, and you're going to have to slowly kind of work your way around. Trying to network with different people, you get a lot of rejections here and there. You just got to work around all those things, right? But again, it all comes down to the right mindset. I've got some comments here. I just want to see what this is. 3 plus 5 year experience is sad indeed. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Branding yourself on social media. So this is actually a part of this program as well, where as a setter or closer, again, because you're positioning yourself as a business owner, or you're looking yourself like that, you're not actually one, but you're looking at yourself like that. You want to brand yourself on social media. Okay. What that means is that you just want to make your profile look good, as if it's a business card, because online, there's no business cards. Your social media profile is your business card, right? And you can easily start another social media profile if you wanted to with this, or you can keep your new one, just delete old posts if you're not really using it. But really, like, whenever you connect with these business owners, they're immediately going to look at your social media profile. So you need to have some sort of career related post about that, about sales, about setting, giving some value on there as well. All right. Oh, okay. Networking. So this is just a basic way to network. I'm not going to go over that too much, but you guys can read that in your own time. I'll go over the recording because I don't want it to be too long. Applying. So yeah, one of the points that I wanted to mention here is that the way you apply with these types of jobs is not that you just give in your CV, but it's more that you shoot them a DM with your video resume. A video resume is basically you recording a video of yourself, quick 20 to 60-second video, and you're saying, hey, my name's Shoaib, I've closed $3 million in the past, etc., 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 right? So you're talking about your experience, you're talking about your desirable traits. If you don't have experience, it's completely fine. All you do is you talk about universal desirable traits that you have, right? I'm a hard worker. I'll work very hard with all of your leads. I know what to be doing, etc., etc., right? And obviously more of this is in the program, but I'm just telling you, this is the kind of idea behind how to apply to these businesses. And it's very different from the normal traditional type of applications that you find. In terms of finding these jobs, you'll find all of these jobs on social media in Facebook groups, right? So you literally go on Facebook, you go in the group section, you type in high ticket closer or high ticket appointment setter or something like that. And then there'll be all these groups where all of these job offers are in, right? And you just go in the groups and you apply. That's it. Very easy. You can also find many different social media influencers. It's very easy to find influencers who have coaching businesses as well. All you do, for example, if you're on Instagram, you do hashtag coach, right? And you find a whole bunch of coaches, right? Or if you're on YouTube and there's a particular niche that you're interested in, like how to lose weight, then you'd write how to lose weight, and you'll see a lot of different influencers who have videos, and the videos with the most types of views, normally when you click on their profile in YouTube, you'll see that, oh, okay, so they have a website and they have a course, or they have some consulting. That's something that you can start setting for or closing for, right? Um, so yeah, it's not too difficult to find these jobs, by the way, or to find coaches in this industry, because there's so many. What you do want to do though is avoid these types of jobs. So new startups with small lead flow and no previous business success, because they're just going to make you work and work and work until you try and get a set or a close based on no proven sales process. And you're just going to be wasting your time, right? Companies that want to hire you right away without asking you many questions, this usually shows they're either desperate or they don't know what they're doing. So just stay away from them. Jobs with a lack of training and management infrastructure. So you have to be a bit careful here, but generally speaking, jobs with a lack of training and management, it means that like you're just going to be the only closer there, and they probably haven't had any proven success with their business before, or they're probably quite new as well. Jobs where you have to do everything. So jobs where they say, look, you need to get the leads for me, you need to set them and you need to close them. Just run away from those jobs, because they're basically saying to you, you do all the work and I'll give you 10%. Like, you might as well start your own business and get 100%, right? No proof of success of their clients. Like, if the job opportunity is there, it sounds good, but you go on the testimonials and you research the offer, you research the brand, and you see, oh, you know what, people are saying it's a scam, or people are saying you don't go for this, they don't really work with you well, etc. Then you'd want to be very careful, and you'd want to ask those types of questions on the interview as well, right? um Interviews. So again, this can help you with your 9 to 5, and this is why I've put it in there as well. So I'll put kind of like generic stuff in this as well, so people can benefit. The interviewer is thinking to themselves these things. And again, look, when it comes to interviews, it's not about yourself. It's not about how great you are, how experienced you are. It's not about that. It's about what is the interviewer asking in their own head, right? About you. What is it? Those are the questions that you want to answer. Okay. Can this person do the job? Are they competent? Can they even do it? So you need to show them examples that you can do it, right? And again, if you're new or inexperienced in setting or closing, it doesn't matter because you can show them how you've done other jobs. You can show them how you learn things, right? You can show them that you've been on a program and you know what you're doing because you've learned all the different modes of appointment setting and closing, right? Are they reliable? Will they show up? Will they work hard? Can I trust them? These are some of the main questions. And also, will they fit into the culture of the team? Right? This is really important as well because a lot of people they hire for culture because they can train them on the skills anyway. So they normally hire for the culture. If they're a bubbly personality, or for example, if there's a female hiring, maybe they'd want to only hire females, right? For example, so will they fit into the culture of the team? That's really important. How much will it cost you, right? And to be honest, on this point, will they fit into the cultural team? I've seen many setters and closers not get jobs, even though they're experienced, because on the interview, they're just so boring, right? They don't show any energy, they don't show any enthusiasm, no interest. Of course, they didn't get the job, right? It's just, I don't know why they do that. But anyway, how much will it cost me? This is another question the interviewer is thinking to themselves, right? How much will it cost me? Meaning, if I get this decision wrong, I'm going to look bad in front of my colleagues or in front of my client, right? I'm going to lose the business some money because if I get a bad closer and the client is giving them leads to close and they're not closing, the client is losing out, right? The biggest fear of any recruiter is making the wrong hire, therefore wasting time and looking bad in front of their clients. So this is why you need to assure them that you are the right hire. Okay, this is really important every single interview that you go to, whether it's setting closing, whether it's anything. Communication, right? You want to be able to communicate effectively and properly. You want to be able to show that you know what you're doing. You want to be able to show them that you're humble, you're not some arrogant person. And that all comes from your communication. And communication is verbal and non-verbal, right? So especially if you're on a video interview, you want to show them your face. You want to show them your like surroundings as well, being in, a nice area. Have a haircut, etc. I just had a haircut today, right? But like, you want to have that right non-verbal communication as well as normal communication. Why is that? Because what we learn in sales and what you learn anywhere is that first impressions count, right? If, for example, you see someone and you're interviewing them and you see someone and like the background is all like messy and the hair's all messy and everything, you'll be like, you're going to be instantly turned off a bit, right? Because you're going to subconsciously think, you know what, if they can't even bother to turn up to an interview looking properly, then how are they going to, what are they going to do in my business, right? So that's like what they're thinking. So you just need to account for these things as well. Interest into the company's program, right? So you need to be interested, of course. Here are some interview mistakes. So these are things that you don't do. And again, if you do it, you know that you do it. So you just need to stop doing it, right? And it's always effective saying, don't do this. So then people always stay away from it. Because I feel whenever you say do this, people can't really like, it's a bit abstract, right? But usually people aren't doing the right thing. So they know, right? And that's why, for example, when I said, here's how to fail in life, a lot of people resonated because we do those things. Even I do a lot of those things as well. So lack of enthusiasm, passion, and interest about the interview, right? The company, the role, the opportunity. Okay. You need that enthusiasm, you need that energy, right? Vague answers, boring personality, lack of goals and objectives, no preparation in terms of giving them examples of scenarios for competency questions, right? Talking bad about previous employers, talking negative about yourself or experiences that you've had, negative first impressions, as we mentioned, deflecting questions, not answering them, not asking questions about the role of the company, not showing passion or energy, right? So that's just a bit about applying in interviews. Now we're on to the last section, right? This shouldn't take too long. This is about sales philosophy. So what is sales all about, basically, right? So why do people buy? So we need to understand this so that we know how to sell, okay? People buy with emotion and they justify with logic, right? So they feel that they need something, right? Emotionally, right? Oh, you know what? That looks good. It will look good on me. So I want to buy it. And then they justify it with logic. Oh, you know what? Actually, this suit, it's got really good material as well. Yeah, yeah. Let's go buy it, right? Or for example, that car, that looks really nice. Yeah. You know, a lot of people would start looking at me and respecting me because I have a nice car, right? That's the emotion side, but the logic side, oh yeah, you know, look at the performance, look at the engine, look at the brake horsepower, etc. You know, whatever people look at with cars, right? But that's just a basic understanding. People buy with emotion and they justify with logic. Even with coaching programs, there are some people they just fully buy it on emotion. That, you know what, if I go into a coaching program, you know, people are gonna think that, wow, okay, yeah, that person's into self-development, right? And then they justify it with logic by, you know, talking about the coaching program, the different parts involved, etc. People buy from those who they know, like, and trust, right? They buy from those who they know, like, and trust. To move toward an opportunity. So to move toward an opportunity is something that people, this is the reason that people buy, because they want an opportunity, and also to go away from a consequence, right? Um, Need, they buy because they have a need, right? Uh, Basically, people buy because they want to get from their current situation to their desired situation. Okay, current situation to their desired situation. Um, the first rule, don't sell. That's the first rule. The first rule in selling is don't sell, right? It may sound a bit silly, but no one likes to be sold to. Like, for example, if you're on a phone and someone's just telling you, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, um, you're most likely not, well, you're obviously not going to buy it, you're going to put the phone down, right? Sometimes, even when it comes to charity, right, especially within the Muslim community as well, sometimes when it comes to charity, people are saying, oh, you need to give this charity, right? Or someone's in front of you holding a buck. You're like, you're not going to give it because you're not inclined towards that particular charity or whatever reason, right? They're telling you what to do. Whenever someone tells you what to do, a lot of the times you're going to reject it, right? Because you want to figure it out for yourself, right? And this is why, for example, in life, people like to make the mistakes before they actually, like, they'd rather not be told what to do, they'd rather make the mistake, right? And that's how they'll actually learn from it as well. Um, yeah, no one likes to be pressured into anything. And once you put yourself into the buyer's shoes, you can easily sell. The easiest way is not to sell at all, right? But the easiest way is basically to understand the buyer themselves, understand what is it that they want, what is it that they're looking for, what fears do they have. Once you understand all of that, then it's easy to sell, right? So the closer, how do you sell, right? What types of hats do you need to wear, right? So a closer is basically a mixture between a therapist, a doctor, and a lawyer, right? So a therapist has the ability to ask questions, to draw out important information, create clarity of the situation, probe further to understand the situation better, and doesn't really jump to conclusions. So for example, how long have you been doing XYZ, right? How has it affected your life, right? And then they'll probe until they find the main problem or pain, right? A doctor treats the problem, not the presenting symptoms, and then prescribes them the right medicine to solve it, right? So although a person's coming to you presenting with pains, you're not going to treat the pain, you're going to treat the underlying problem. That's what you're supposed to do. As a lawyer builds a case, they gather evidence, they present the case with evidence to influence a decision. So a closer, basically, at the start, they're asking all these questions about their current situation and about where they want to get to their desired situation, right? And then they're going to summarize all of that. They're going to probe a bit more to see what really is the problem. Is it like a big limiting belief in front of them that they don't think they can be successful, and that's the main reason they're not investing in themselves, right? Is it something else, right? Is it maybe yeah, is something else basically? Or, for example, the doctor part, you need to know, okay, so this person has presented to me with a lack of finances, a whole load of lack of self-esteem as well. So these are the symptoms. What is the main problem? What is the main problem of this? So you're going to have to kind of go a bit deep with them. So it's not really like a sales call. It's more like a coaching type call, right? Where you're actually helping them figure out, okay, what is the actual problem, right? Or for example, when someone presents and says, you know what, I'm not too sure about investing in this program. So that's the symptom, but the problem might be because they went on another program and it didn't work for them, right? And then again, that's another symptom, but you need to go a bit deeper. Okay, why didn't it work for them? right? And then as a closer, you need to kind of talk them through that. Okay, it didn't work for you because of XYZ. If in this program we had XYZ, then do you think it will work for you? Right. So it's just a conversation like that. It's not too difficult at all, right? A lawyer, so at the end of the call, you're going to build the whole case. So your main thing is bridging the gap between the current situation and the desired situation. So at the end of the call, you can say, okay, look, from what you've described to me, you said that you're experiencing this pain, this pain, this pain, this problem, this problem, this problem. And the reason why you're experiencing that is because of XYZ, right? And your goal is to get to your current your goal is to get you to your desired situation. Okay. So your role as a closer is to bridge that gap and say, it's okay. So we have a solution that can help you get to your desired situation and tackle all of those problems that you have. Right. And then you present to them the solution. Right. Um, so that's basically what being a closer is, right? So here's like a little roadmap of how a sales script is. So the first part is the introduction. You're just going to have an introduction with them. Then you're going to build some rapport. You're going to build some, common grounds. Talking about, where they're from, if you're from the same area, those types of things. That's like basic kind of relationship building at the start. Asking questions to understand the current situation and desired situation of the prospect. Then you'd want to probe to see what's actually holding them back from getting to their desired situation. Because again, the person who's coming on the call, they would not come on the call with you if they've already figured the problem out. They would not come on the call with you, right? They're coming on the call with you because they have not figured out what the problem is. They don't know what the problem is. They're in the current situation. They're really frustrated. And this is why they've gone through a website, they've gone through all this marketing material, they've gone through a whole load of things to get onto this call with you. You're the one who's going to help them understand what their actual problem is. Why can't they get from their current situation to their desired situation? Okay. So it's like a closer's role is really important. And then you're going to summarize everything, and then you're going to present your solution. And your solution is basically the offer that you have. And then you're going to answer their questions to build confidence in the solution that you're offering. You're going to dismantle any objections that they have. You're going to build clarity and certainty in your solution as well. And then you're going to close and discussing of the payment plans. And then you're just going to conclude. So if they conclusion basically means if they come onto the program, you're going to congratulate them and you're going to tell them the next steps. If, for example, they haven't closed, but you're going to meet them for next time, then you're just going to arrange another call with them, basically, right? So that's just a basic sales script journey. We're not going too in depth into how the whole sales process works in terms of the calls and all the types of questions to ask and how to handle objections, because that's like, you don't really need to know that now. But this is just an overview, right? The power of questioning, right? So the one who asks the questions is the one who's in control of the conversation, right? Ideally, in a sales call, you want to be in control of the conversation. You'd want to be the one who's asking the questions. And the way normally a sales call goes is that you're the authority, because obviously they want to learn from you. They want to learn what this problem is that they have, or they want to learn more about the offer and how you can help them. So instead of getting someone on the call and say, okay, you sell this to me, right? Because there are some people that try it with you. They come on the call and they say, you know what? I've been through everything, I understand everything, but I want you to sell this to me, right? So what you need to do is you need to be someone who's asking the questions. So, okay, well, for me to sell it to you, I need to know what you want first, right? So what is it that you want? Automatically, you flip the script. Now you're asking the questions. Now you're in control, right? That's how easy it is with regards to sales. So that's the power of questioning as well. And you can apply this to everywhere in life, right? If you're like in the argument with your spouse or family member, the one who's in control is the one who asks the questions. So just keep asking questions, right? And then deflect what they say and ask another question, right? Um, Sometimes it's not advised, but you get what I mean, hopefully. High ticket versus low ticket, quality of customer, right? It's all about the quality of customer. Reason businesses charge high ticket, obviously because they get more money and more quicker ability to scale their business. But on top of that, when the client invests, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 into themselves to improve whatever it is that they need improving, they're going to have a lot of skin in the game, right? They've spent a load of money, right? They're going to have to make it work, right? And it's just like an extra motivating and pressure factor for them so that they just get the results that are intended, right? Because a lot of the times when it comes to low ticket or even free things, Like a lot of people go on free webinars and this, but they never follow up with it. They never implement it. They don't get anywhere, right? So this is why when you pay like something high for something, then you really value it a lot more as well, right? And that's how it works. Like for example, a lot of us, um, we don't really value our parents as much. They're for free, but when they go, we're like, oh man, I should have done this. I should have done that, right? I should have valued them more, right? Because now they're not here, right? So you can't just do what you used to do, basically, right? So don't take anything for granted, is what I'm saying in that respect. But when it comes to business, anything that you pay a lot for, you pay attention. There's a saying like pay more and then you pay attention. Okay. If you don't pay more, if it's just something like $10, $20 here and there, or you're not really going to pay attention to it at all. And that's just how us humans think. That's like in the psychology. It's all about value and perception of value. If something is like, for example, with all of these uh, cars, for example, when there's a car that's like 200K, 300K, you're going to think, wow, that must be some amazing car, right? And then when there's something like $500, like, yeah, that isn't all that, basically, right? So that's just the general perception when it comes to value. The best thing about sales, you're helping people make the best decision for them. And it is a fulfilling career because of that, right? I have a lot of sales calls where at the end I feel good because I feel like, okay, I've helped this person get over their problem and I've helped them make a decision that's good for them as well, right? So yeah, that is basically everything. So invitation, this is like a two-part invitation. One part is obviously for Q&A, which we're going to do. Another part is that obviously, as you guys know, through TikTok and everything, I have a 3-month coaching program to help Muslims get into this industry of setting and closing. I literally teach everything that I've mentioned here. So from mindset to career development, to sales, to appointment setting, to how to land the jobs, everything. So that you can have the opportunity to land a job that allows you to work from home at your own pace and develop a strong income for yourself, right? Now, as most of you have probably seen, the prospectus that I've sent out to a lot of you, this is what the program is composed of. So you have the online training program, right? Week 1 is foundations and mindset and the industry. Week 2 is all about setting. Week 3 is about closing. Week 4 is about landing opportunities. There's going to be accountability and tracking system. You're going to have access to this for a lifetime as well. You're going to have coaching sessions as well, where we get on the coaching calls, and you can ask me questions live as well. You're going to have the Muslim community around you. It's going to be a Discord chat. And that's really for networking, right? And it's also just so you can ask me any questions there. And it's the main mode of communication throughout the program. And then you're going to have job support as well, right? So I'm going to help you land a job. And on top of that, when you get your first job, I'm going to help you within the first month of that first job, right? So that you know what you're doing, you get onboarded properly, and you can come to me for any questions, basically. So that's the program that I have. That's what I'm selling. And if you want to know more about it, or if you want to discuss if you're a good fit, because ideally, like I don't want anyone to go for this unless they know for sure that they're a good fit for it, right? So book a call here, www.calendly.com/serve/sell/scale/CSA. I'm just going to write it in here. Calendly, calendly.com/serve/scale/CSA. So that's the call. That's the call booking link. If you want to book a call with me, what I normally do is I normally just tell you, look, just come with all of your questions. I'll get all of your questions answered, no matter how like harsh they are or anything. I'll be very transparent and open with you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assess your suitability for this as well. So I'm going to tell you exactly what the industry is about and whether you're suitable for it. And I'm just going to ask you some competency questions too. And then if it sounds like a good fit for you, and if I think you do good in it as well and I can help you, then I'll invite you onto the coaching program. Coaching program is £1,000 altogether, and you can split it into different payment plans that we discuss as well. And if it's not a good fit, then no worries. No worries. We can just depart as friends, basically.